Continuing coverage tonight, 3 days ago, we told you about a Portland nurse who went on a mission trip to Palestine and ended up stuck in Gaza. Thanks for joining us tonight. I'm John Adams. The nurse is now back here in the Rose City, safe and sound. Our Sydney Dorner spoke to her today. Sydney, what did she share about her return?
Yes, John, Monica Johnston is a burn care nurse from Northeast Portland. She traveled to Rafah on May 1st for a volunteer trip she thought would last only 2 weeks. But due to conflict in the area, she's still there and just got back home at 11 p.m. last night. Her path back home was even more difficult than her journey to Rafah, dragging on for about 32 hours. The nurses she spent years working with as a burn care specialist were some of the first people to greet her at PDX with a welcome back sigh, alongside her partner and 2 teenagers who were overwhelmed with anxiety, waiting for her to return. Monica says she's still carrying the guilt and weight of knowing the children she cared for are still stuck in Rafah.
I get to go to a soft bed tonight, which I am very much looking forward to. But these people have lost everything. They've lost entire family systems. They've lost their homes. Many of them are lucky to even have their lives left.
Monica says there are still 14 of her fellow volunteers stuck in Rafah, and she's one of the 5 Americans who were lucky enough to make it back home. John, back to you.
All right, Sydney, thank you. We're glad she's back here safely. Now to the ongoing demonstrations related to the war in Gaza. In Eugene, pro-Palestinian protesters at the University of Oregon have moved their encampment from the Memorial Quad between the library and the business school. They're now directly in front of the administration building. Several protesters have also chained themselves to the columns of that building. The protest began nearly 3 weeks ago, and protest leaders say they haven't met with school officials since May the 9th. And in Seattle, organizers of a pro-Palestinian encampment at the University of Washington have agreed to tear the camp down by Monday. They came to an agreement with the university. Their demands include supporting Palestinian students in studies. The university did not agree to cut ties with Boeing. Well, turning now to weather, it was one of those days where if you didn't like the current weather outside, all you had to do was wait a few minutes and there would eventually be something you like. Meteorologist Joe Ranieri is here with a look at the forecast. Joe, we saw showers, we saw sunshine. How's the week ahead looking?
It's looking not too bad. It was almost today. It was basically a carbon copy of what we saw Saturday. You know, a little bit of some showers and some sun breaks and some showers here and there. But again, the showers really didn't add up to much, which is exactly what we were expecting. You could kind of see some spotty showers out there at this hour. A little bit of some light snow showers over the Oregon Cascades earlier. But again, you're not going to be seeing any accumulation in terms of snowfall amounts. You'll be driving over the mountain passes. We got some clouds rolling in right now as we take a live look above the reserve there in Aloha. Temperature of 57 degrees throughout the metro area. And as we go from the metro area east a little bit, this is from the Oregon Veterans Home out in the Dalles. We're seeing a temperature right now in the mid to the upper 60s. A little bit warmer the more east you go, but still, we're not going to be seeing much of a warm up over the next couple of days, although I am forecasting highs close to 70 degrees tomorrow, which will be the best day of the week for your Monday. And currently, we're seeing temperatures in the upper 50s to low 60s. And we'll start to see those showers taper off a little bit. But again, John, it's the later part of May, and we're looking at a frost advisory throughout the central part of the Willamette Valley. That's over near Eugene, also throughout parts of Hood River. That goes in effect tonight until tomorrow at 8 o'clock. And coming up in the detailed forecast, I'll talk about what's in store over the next few days and give you a little hint or a little kind of teaser of what's going to be happening heading into Memorial Day weekend a week from today.
All right, Joe, thank you. We'll see you later in the show. First responders in Lebanon rescue a person after an early morning fire that ended up causing a second fire. It happened just before 1:30 this morning at an adult foster care home. The Lebanon Fire District arrived to find the 2-story home engulfed in flames. First responders had to break through a locked door to find the missing person. While that happened, embers were blown across the street, setting another building on fire. It took several hours to get both fires under control. The cause of the first fire is still under investigation. Police in Western Washington are trying to figure out who burglarized a coffee shop, then set it on fire.
Went to all the video footage and started watching it replay, and just my heart sunk.
On Monday night, surveillance video showed someone breaking into the Anthem coffee shop. After the incident, the shop changed the codes on the lockbox, but the suspect got inside again, burglarized the shop again, and then set it on fire.
It's hard for us, it's hard for the community, and we're all frustrated and want to know why and want to know where the suspect is that did this.
Sprinklers and fire crews put out the flames. The shop will be closed for several months due to the fire and water damage. We're still trying to find out exactly when the man indicted for the murder of 3 women will face trial. Jesse Calhoun now faces charges of murder and abuse of a corpse for each killing. Calhoun was indicted Friday after months of speculation about a string of suspicious deaths involving women in the Portland area whose bodies were found in wooded or secluded areas. Police and prosecutors wouldn't say how they linked him to the string of crimes or how he knew the women, but one of the victims' mothers credits detectives.
Even though they wouldn't give me the answers, I knew they had answers because they wouldn't give them to me.
The indictment came weeks before Calhoun was scheduled to be released from prison on charges unrelated to the women's deaths. He's currently being held at the Snake River Correctional Institution in Eastern Oregon. Prosecutors add they're still investigating 2 other deaths that may also be linked to Calhoun. Gresham police want you to be on the lookout for this teen. 14-year-old Caleb Moore is considered endangered because he is without his anti-seizure medication. He left his home last night without permission. That's off of Northeast Division Street and Fleming Avenue. Police believe he may have gone to a friend's house. If you see him, call 911. Portland police are hoping someone will come forward about an unusual case developing in downtown Portland. For weeks, someone has been throwing canned goods from a 23-story apartment complex on Southwest Jefferson and Broadway called the Ladd Tower. People tell us they've had to dodge cans coming from the building and even had their property damaged. Building management tells us they were not able to find any evidence it was coming from one of their tenants, and police can't search apartments without a warrant or consent. We'll continue asking questions, but again, if you know anything about who's throwing the cans, contact Portland Police. We're keeping our focus on Tuesday's primary election. Everyone eligible to vote in the Oregon primary should have had their ballots for more than a week now, and some have already sent them in. Here's a look at some early numbers from the Portland Metro. For Multnomah and Washington counties, these numbers are as of Friday, so they're likely higher now. A reminder, your ballot must be in a ballot box by 8 Tuesday night. If you're sending by mail, it needs to be postmarked by Election Day. And be sure to join us as we track those election results on Tuesday. Our David Molko and Laurel Porter will be joined by political analysts. You'll be able to watch it here, plus it'll be streaming on our website, on YouTube, and on KGW+. The Rose City is already known for being bike friendly. For a section of East Portland today, it got even friendlier. Today was the kickoff of Portland Sunday Parkways. The series of events presented by Kaiser Permanente closes off part of the city to cars and turns it into a bikeable, walkable street party. Organizers say from the music to the vendors, there are activities for people of all ages and tastes.
Even if you don't have a bicycle or you don't want to ride, come walk around, look at the booths, come talk to people, just get outside and improve your mental health, your physical health. It's great.
And we are encouraging folks who perhaps haven't ridden before to come out, explore, think about how they might be able to incorporate bike riding into their lives.
If you missed today's event, don't worry. The next one takes place June 16th in Northeast Cully. The final one, September 22nd in Southwest Portland. You may have noticed some well-dressed motorcycle riders around Portland on this Sunday. The Distinguished Gentleman's Ride was held at numerous locations across the globe today. The ride raises money for prostate cancer research, suicide prevention, and men's mental health. The event also featured over a dozen vendors, axe throwing, live music, and a raffle. The event organizers expected about 400 riders to take part in today's ride in Portland.
It's kind of a funny, cheeky fact that we're supporting prostate cancer research since we're riding motorcycles, on our bums, and so I think there's a little fun kind of tongue-in-cheek aspect to the whole thing as well.
Last year's Portland ride raised about $30,000. There are other rides around the state of Oregon and Washington. To find one near you, visit gentlemansride.com.